there! In this video, I'm gonna be sharing 5 of my favorite go-to senior poses these days that are trendy and fun, as well as photo examples that you can easily try at your next shoot. So if that sounds helpful, keep watching. Welcome to my channel. My name is Hope Taylor. I have been a senior portrait photographer for well over a decade, and I am here to share some education with you if you are wanting to be a senior portrait photographer. And in today's video, we are going to talk about one of my favorite topics, which is senior posing. It can be so intimidating to pose a senior client, especially if you're coming from a different niche in the photography world, like couples or families or weddings, because typically you're photographing multiple people together, right? Like your job is to capture a connection between multiple people. But when you're photographing a senior, you just have one person in the middle of an open field, and it is 100% on you as the photographer to make them look and feel amazing and make them feel confident with posing that you communicate to them. And that can be very intimidating. So today I'm going to share 5 of my favorite poses. But before I dive in, I just wanted to share a free gift with you guys. If you find today's video helpful, then you are going to find the free gift down in the description wildly more helpful than this video, because you actually get to watch me photograph an entire senior session from start to finish. It's a 2-hour session, and you basically get to be my virtual second shooter or virtual shadow and hear my thought process behind every decision I make in terms of posing first. So you'll see a whole 2-hour session of poses, but you'll also get to hear my camera settings, my lens choices, my gear choices, my locations, my lighting. You really get to basically just be a fly on the wall with a real client at a real shoot. And I think you'll find it so helpful. So you can get free access to that down at the link in the description. It's only available to my paid membership members, but I'm giving it away as a free gift just to say thanks for tuning in here on YouTube. So snag that while you can, but let's go ahead and dive into those 5 poses. So I have tons of posing videos here on my YouTube channel because I really believe it's one of the biggest pain points that senior photographers experience. But specifically today, I'm talking about 5 poses that I have loved in the year of 2023, because I really think that in the world of senior photography, there are trends that come and go in terms of posing. And Gen Z, I have found, really loves a lot of movement in their poses and posing that feels really effortless. Like they didn't even try to look that cute. They just showed up and looked that cute. And so that's what these 5 poses are going to be. 5 poses that I think are really in style right now, really trendy, things that I've been using at every single one of my shoots that you can really easily apply to your next session. So number 1 is the pose that I call the finger link. And let me explain what I mean by that. What used to be my go-to pose, or kind of my first pose, or the simple pose that I would start every shoot with, would be some variation of a hand on a hip. So some images like this, right? Just your client with your hand on their hip, super, super standard. I still do that sometimes, but I have found that the new hand on the hip pose is this finger link pose, where your clients just kind of softly link their fingers together right at their waist or at their belly button. And it just feels a little bit more casual and a little bit more laid back than a hand on the hip. This feels a little cheesy these days, according to seniors, instead of something really soft and feminine like this. So here's a few photo examples for you of ways that you can do this. I have them do it for full body photos. I'll have them do it for close-ups. I sometimes say, link your fingers together like this. I always show a visual, or I'll say you can pretend you're holding a tiny purse like this right in front of you. And I find that that little finger link pose is kind of the new hand on the hip, or my new go-to of what to have my clients do with their hands that doesn't feel as cheesy or outdated as a hand on the hip. And I know some of you are like, Hope, since when is a hand on their hip outdated? Listen, I have a little sister that's 17 and she keeps me young. She tells me what's cool, and the hand on the hip isn't quite as cool anymore. So just trust me. The second pose that you can try at your next session is some variation of a walking pose. And believe it or not, I actually didn't used to incorporate a lot of movement into my senior sessions. It was a lot more static posing, a lot of laying down, a lot of kind of leaning into things. And now I find that seniors are really attracted to photos that feel candid, like I mentioned earlier. And a great way to achieve that is to incorporate a lot of movement. So I will have my clients walk towards the camera, like in these images where they're slowly getting closer and closer to the frame. I'll have my clients walk away from the camera and look over their shoulder, like in these images. I love this pose, especially if there's some type of back detail on the outfit that they're wearing, like a bow or a fun sleeve. And I'll also have them walk across the frame, like in these photos where they start in one corner and they end on the other corner. Few tips for walking poses. I always open it by saying, you're gonna walk at like a fraction of the speed that you normally walk. The slower you go, the more images that I can get. Because I find that seniors tend to be really nervous, and so they're just like, and they go really quick. I can't even get focused in that amount of time, right? So I tell them to walk really, really slow, kind of put one foot in front of the other as if they are on a tightrope. And then I tell them where to look the whole time that they're walking. Sometimes I'll say, okay, smile down towards your feet. Perfect. Now let's look over that shoulder towards mom. Awesome. Now smiling right here towards me. And I'm getting as much variety as I can throughout that movement. So just a lot of different variations to try, but make sure to give those specific prompts about going slow, about walking on a tightrope. Try a few different things at your next session, and also try full body as well as close-ups. They're both really, really cute. The third pose that I have been loving a lot lately involves a little bit of sitting. I really like to alternate poses mentally through 5 categories: sitting, standing, laying, leaning, and kneeling. So I actually have a course where I cover all of this in depth, but one of the seated poses that I've been really loving lately, because it kind of combines the posed feeling with still feeling really candid and like I could have caught them like this naturally. It just feels a little bit more natural for those seniors that don't like to feel overly stuffy or posed, is to have your client sit. This could be in an open field with really beautiful tall grass or a wildflower field, or it could be as simple as sitting on a curb or a ledge or the edge of a walkway, like in some of these images. But I really like to have my client lean into one arm. Having them lean slightly towards the camera into one arm adds a little bit more of a casual feeling versus sitting straight up like this. Leaning into one arm towards the camera kind of naturally leans their head towards one side, just a little bit, overall feels a little bit more natural, right? I always tell them not to lock that arm, because if they lock it, we feel really stiff. A little bit of a bend in that arm, leaning towards the camera with the other hand up in your hair. Feels super fun, super natural. I'll have them move this backhand, playing with hair, laughing over towards the shoulder, and it creates a lot of variety and really beautiful images that feel posed and feel intentional while still feeling natural and candid because of that movement with the hand and the hair. So visuals of this pose for you, it's a super fun one, and there's so many different places and locations where you can utilize that pose. Number 4, the fourth pose I have been loving a lot lately is the 1 foot pop, or the flamingo, whatever you'd like to call it, where your clients pop up 1 foot and kind of shrug one shoulder up towards the camera. This is just a super cute pose that seniors have been absolutely loving these days. It's also a great way to show off a cute shoe. If I have a client that brings a dressy outfit with heels, or a dress where maybe the heels are otherwise hidden, I like a long dress, I will have them pop 1 foot up like that towards the camera, and it's always super, super cute. A great way to do this is even to have them walk away or towards the camera and then pop their foot at the end. It always looks absolutely precious. So the foot pop is number 4. And lastly, number 5 brings back that concept of movement and really getting candid images throughout your shoot. And that is to have them twirl or interact with what they're wearing or a prop that they've brought with them. I actually provide all of my clients with what I call the Senior Style Guide. It's a 65+ page guide that they get when they book me to help them prepare for their senior session. And that guide walks them through anything and everything they could need to know about what to wear, how to dress for the seasons, the number of outfits, outfit inspiration, locations, props, how to customize your session. I have so many things in there. I actually sell a template in my shop. I'll link that down below if you'd like to learn more about it. But this guide really talks about props and how to bring things with you to your session to make your session feel more elevated and more personalized and more custom. One of the things I love when my clients bring is a cute bag, because having a purse or a bag that you can play with when it comes to posing opens up a whole world of really cute pose options. They can swing the bag away and towards the camera lens. They can put it over their shoulder and hold it. They can interact with it by opening and unbuckling and buckling it. Same thing goes for their outfit. Try to think about ways you can incorporate their wardrobe into their posing. If they have on a jacket or cardigan, maybe they can hold it. If they have on a long dress, they can twirl it, which is one of my favorite poses to do is like a sway or a twirl with a long dress. If they have a fun earring or necklace, they can play with it. Just try to think of ways that you can incorporate wardrobe into their posing, because you'd be surprised at how many opportunities open up when you start to think about posing as a way of interacting with what they're wearing or what they've brought with them. So I hope these 5 poses were interesting to you. I hope that they are easy for you to apply at your next session. If you use them, you will have to come back and let me know, because I would absolutely love to see an example. And if you want to see even more posing in real time, we're talking like a 2-hour shoot worth of poses, there is a free gift for you down in the description where you can be my virtual shadow at a beautiful senior session in downtown Charleston. So be sure to snag that. It's normally only for my paid members, but it's just a gift to you to say thanks for tuning in here on YouTube. I post new videos every other week and would be so grateful to have you subscribe. Thanks so much for being here, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye!